My mother's she's a Southern woman from the Virginia area, and this is what I found out later. And I only can remember for a small period of, from a small, real small increment of my life that I lived in Bedford-Stuyvesant in the early middle '70s. Eventually, we had to move. We were evicted. We had to leave the house. All of our furniture was um, really politely decorated the concrete outside, so we had to, me and my brother, I guess we had to sit on the furniture to wait till my mother can get a place for us to stay. And it was just after that, it was pretty much hard times, welfare. When we moved to Brownsville, which was a much more aggressive neighborhood. And it just wasn't good. It was just crime infested, drug infested neighborhood. And it was very aggressive. And my mother had knew a lot of men. Her and her friends knew a lot of men. It wouldn't be unnormal for me to come from one of my friends' houses, to come from outside a man and a woman is in one of my mother's room. Or my mother's in a room with a man and a woman, and we can't go in the room, but we have to stay outside in the kitchen, perhaps, or the living room, and we can't go in the back of the room until they're finished. And that's just how our life's been. And as time went on, I've learned to while people were in the back that I would, and they fell asleep, I would go in their pockets and take their money. And that's just how it's been. That's just what it was all about. I learned how to steal at a young age. When my mother's friends were in her house, they were drinking. I learned to go in their house from the fire escape and rob their house while they were downstairs drinking with my mother. And that's just what I learned to do in my life. I was born with great perception. It came from my street life, from being locked up for stealing and facing unbelievable odds as a young kid. I had great perception. And once I watched these guys fight, I just knew it was a matter of time, but I knew my time would soon come. I knew I would obtain my goal before it existed. I knew that. I knew I would be champ of the world before I died. I knew I wasn't going to die before I became champ. You know, dying is just as glorious as living when you really think about it, because you couldn't have a life if you didn't have death, and you couldn't have death without life. So how could death be less glorious than life? They're both intertwined with one another. Yeah, they used to bully me in school. And so I never went back to school. So when my mother used to send me to school, I would just be hanging around the school, walking around the school. And if normally we have security guards, the truants officer that see me, I would take off and run, or hide in the building, abandon the building. But normally, my mother knew I wasn't going to school. Then I met some guys one day, and they pursued to ripping me off, and they realized I didn't have no money. But on lunchtime, I used to go in school and eat lunch, and then leave school again. So, especially when they had meatballs and spaghetti. So, one time these guys, they wanted to rip me off, and I didn't have no money, so they asked me, "Do you want to fly birds with me?" So I said, "What do you mean?" They said, "You want to fly with us?" And then I realized that they took me to this abandoned building, but they wanted me to get my milk. The milk, climb the fence and throw milk crates over to them. And I didn't understand why they wanted the milk crates, but I did it anyway because I was kind of scared. And then they took me to this abandoned building. I didn't know what they were going to do to me in that building, you know. So when I went up there, I saw on the roof they had pigeons. And then after that, I never went to school again. Once I found that I had a pigeon coop, and I could be these guys' flunkies and go to the store for them. And if the birds were horrible, they were in horrible conditions. So the birds would fly for a little while, then they'd land on another roof, and then make me get up and go on that roof short and get the birds off the roof. So I would go to all these roofs that the lady birds flew on and scare the birds off, hoping that they would go back to the roof. where the guys were. And I thought that was pretty cool because I felt wanted because at least somebody wanted me to do something for them. So the next day, instead of going back around, walking around school, I went to the pigeon coop. And the guys saw me and they said, "Excuse me, young man." They said, "What the fuck are you doing?" And they started throwing bricks at me and while they were on the roof. And I said, hey, I just came around to see your guys need me to do anything for y'all today, like help with the birds or go to the store for you, that's all. But they had thought that I was coming back around to steal their birds. And I had no concept of stealing birds back then. I just wanted some place to hang out instead of walking around the streets all day. And some weird guy be asking me to get in the car and suck their dick or let them suck my dick or something when I was outside just waiting for school to come out or waiting for the lunch to appear. So I would be on the roof with these guys who I didn't know, who might have killed me also, right? So they said, "Yeah, go," and then they throw down someone, "Go to the store and get some cigarettes and get a knee-high soda." After throwing bricks at me, you know, and so I go upstairs, and so the guys go like this. School is over and stuff, but they tell me, "We're going to the center tonight. We're going to go to the after-school center." This is where, I don't know, the poverty-stricken people that live in the projects, they have a center there, a youth center, and they go there and they're playing music. They got a jam in the center, so we're going to go to the center. And so, oh man, I don't believe I'm saying it. So I said, "Okay, I want to go too. Can I go?" And I said, "Okay." "Yeah, sure, you can come." But I'm a young kid. I had no concept of you had to wash. Yeah, and so when I went to the center, I said, "Oh, fuck. I still had the bird shit on me from that." So I still have the bird shit and all the stuff, the tar and stuff from being in the pigeon coop, helping them build the coop. So, you know, we have tar paper, so we have to put the tar paper in the coop. When we go back, I never went home and washed. I just had the same clothes I had on. And when I went there, the kids that was on the roof that brought me to the roof, they all had new clothes on. And they all laughed at me. And everybody started laughing at me, and I was scared and embarrassed. I started laughing too. And one of the guys that was on the roof, he had said, "What the fuck, you dirty little motherfucker? What you come around here looking like that? Don't you ever wash?" And he said, "You better meet me at the roof. Meet me tomorrow, motherfucker. Meet me at the roof with the birds where you met me today." Even though that guy wasn't his pigeons, but he was there. He was looking for one of those other guys' brothers. He was older. He said, "Meet me at the roof. You hear me, shorty? Meet me at the fucking pigeon. Where you were today?" And I'm a schmuck. I'm like, "Yo, schmucko." So I met him early in the morning, just like when you're going to school. So I met him at the pigeon coop. And from then on, me and him started robbing houses. Because I was younger than him, so he would tell me to ring the doorbell, knock on the door. And if someone comes over, say you're looking for this guy, he'll give me a Jewish name or something. He'll give me some name. He just knew what to say, the right stuff and what neighborhoods. And I didn't know. And then they found out nobody was there. He would pick the locks. He would have the kids pick the locks. We would go in there. We would find money, guns, jewelry. It was just wow. It was just such a rush being in somebody's house and you see that luxury there and it's yours. And he didn't give me much money, but he bought me a lot of nice-looking clothes. And he said, "You go back to the center looking like this. Don't forget, you hear me, motherfucker? You go be looking like this." And then I went to that center, and then it was a whole different, it was totally different. And they used to call me Dirty Mike, Dirty Ike, and it wasn't because I had bad clothes. I always had the best clothes, but I always was on the pigeon coop, and I always got them dirty and tar, and I would never change my clothes I would never do that. I would never change my clothes to put on some raggedy clothes and be seen in raggedy clothes because I'd been traumatized from that experience when I went to the daycare center, after school center. So I would always just wear my nice clothes in the pigeon coop, and they would always get dirty, and I would just go home and change in some new nice clothes. You know, till this day I'm the same way. I always make sure to have nice clothes on, no matter wherever I go. If I'm playing with pigeons, if I'm playing soccer, if I'm taking out the garbage, and it's just it's just always been a scar on me since them guys just humiliated me that day. Because even though I was a street kid and I was come with like a tough kid. I never had an ego. I was never really jealous of anybody. I never really thought much of myself. But when I met Cuss and I started talking to Cuss, he made me believe that I was a god. He made me believe that, for instance, Cuss would say this. Now, to Cuss would say, now you see, you hear this? Because Cuss had a really, he had this really megalomaniac ego. He said, you let me tell you something. All the prophets, all the gods you ever know about, if they had a son, their son couldn't beat my fighter. Know why? Because he's my fighter. I remember I was a young kid and I was getting put on the front cover of maybe Ring magazine at the time, a big time magazine it was. Could have been Sports Illustrated, but one of these magazines, I got put on the magazine, and there was a bunch of cameras around there, and I was feeling myself. I was smiling, laughing with the guys like I was a big shot, and then right after that, Cuss said, grab the broom and mop and sweep, clean the gym. And whoa. And that's just what I had to do. You know, I just knew my place with him. I just knew my place, you know. Like things I would say with other people, I would never say with him. He would only have to call me one time and I would be there. It was never like, hey, be there in a minute. I wanted to make Cuss proud. That was my whole existence for fighting. I wanted to make him proud. I never knew what it was like to have a fighter. A father. So now I understand what some kids must feel when they can't make their fathers happy. Because he would do anything for me. I was just, I don't think that way now. I was just disappointed that I didn't kill them back then. But that was just my main objective because I wanted to succeed so bad, and I failed, and the fear of not succeeding was worse than dying. So I just wanted to make sure they never got up. At any fight, if someone said something negative about me, he was an old man, he would attack them. He wouldn't let nobody allow any negativity to even seep through my psyche. You know, everything was that I'm invincible, I'm a savage, I'm ferocious, I'm the smartest savage. I don't even think that way anymore. He believed fighting was your opponent's surrender, his total destruction. And he didn't think of it as, even though he said it was savage and ferociously, you had to do it in such a relaxed and calm state, you know, without any emotions. That's what he was all about, you know what I mean? A really scientific way of destroying people. He enjoyed hurting the opponent. He wanted them to never have a chance to believe they can beat you. You know, it wasn't about anything. Our whole life wasn't about making money. It wasn't about being rich. It was about, and nobody on the planet could beat us. That was everything. My whole life, he said, best fight in the world, best fight in the world. There's nobody on the planet that could beat me. I could beat anybody on the planet in a fair fight, and that's what I always believed. You know, I don't even think about that now, but just to be in that state of mind, I could be anybody one day I said this, and well, I'm so happy that I don't think that way anymore. I was having an interview, and I started thinking about Cuss, because Cuss is pretty, you know, arrogant, and Cuss said, and I said one of Cuss words. I said, I was being interviewed, and I said, how many people in this planet? I said, what, around 5 billion people, 6 billion? I said I could beat every one of them in a fair fight. And that's what I believed at the time. But this guy always told me, he says, I'm allowing my mind to get the better of me. Your mind, you don't have your mind on your work. You're not being disciplined. He really knew that. He always believed that his mind could heal anything. He believed if he had cancer, his mind could heal cancer. He was a strong believer that your body only purpose was to carry your brain. And, you know, he was just amazing, man. I respect a person who's willing to die for what he truly wants. even if it's love, even if it's a woman, whatever it is that he truly believes in, and that he believes that it transcends him to that level to demand for love, for instance. I look at love as a command to just rise to your greatest potential, and that's how people should feel. Their objective should be to rise to their best potential in life. If it's to lose 30 pounds, if it's to pass a test, it should be to win a fight, to be admired by people all over the world. It should allow you to rise to your greatest potential, that you look at yourself in the most grandest fashion. I was never able to understand the concept of greatness. I just never was able to understand that concept of greatness. And as time went on and I've gotten older, and I've met many journeys on people that I met on my journey, and people who I've read about on my journey. I read that all greatness, the majority of greatness in itself doesn't come with goodness. The two don't coexist with one another. And I spent all my life trying to become great because I had such a low self-esteem. And I realized late in life, well, I'll say I'm 47, but late in my life, that all great men are not good men. And then so I tried to embark on a whole different career and try to become good. But what's the concept of good? Being a floor mat? I never understood the concept of good. So how do we live in those two dimensions at once? You want that greatness for self-gratification, but you want goodness from a human perspective. And I really have no idea, no clue how do I juggle both of them and be in harmony. And then in all actuality, they don't exist. You have to pick a side. The lion and the fox. You know what I mean? I could beat the vicious guys, and I could outsmart the slicksters. So I was pretty much didactic in that apartment, pretty much. But what really was the turning point is that there was nobody that could reach the core like Cus could. No one could inspire me. I don't know. I don't think it's that amazing. The things I say, I don't think it's as profound as what many people may think is profound. I just think it's my feelings of what I felt at the particular moment. And I always had a very complex life, and I never had a good psychological opinion about myself, and that's because of my upbringing and my view on my life and my view of just my whole barometer as a person. And so I never grasped that love of that particular identity of myself. I gave my whole fight, and it's time to give it up. It's time to stop and let go and let God. I did all I can do humanly, and now it's time for me to let God lead the way. I say, well, I'm responsible now. I have to be present for my family and my children. But when that feeling comes, you have no control over it. I might want to die tomorrow, and that's just what it is. And that's how my mind works. Maybe something may happen. I might get into an argument with my wife. Something might happen. I might want to die tomorrow, and I might want to live, but I might have killed myself already. So I don't know how that goes. You know, maybe I want to die because I want to know what it's like to die. I want to know if it's just dark, like when you have one of those dead sleeps and you wake up and you wouldn't know if you were dead or not if you didn't wake up. So I don't know. I don't know what I want to do. I just know right now I want to live and experience life, and I don't know what life has in store for me, but I'm not afraid to find out. I'm not trying to even the score. I'm moving on to other places which are probably dark and places I've never been before, but I'm not afraid to go there. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to lose in life. I'm not afraid to do anything. I won't do anything. Matter of fact, I won't do anything. Matter of fact, like my show, there's nothing I would do unless I have a possibility of being humiliated. If I can't be humiliated, if I fail, I don't want to do it. Because only by doing that, I would rise to my highest potential with the fact that I might be humiliated, and I don't want that to happen. But when it does happen, then I will truly be humiliated. Because when I succeed, I truly succeed. And that's why I'm here with you. I've always sought comfort from my pigeons, no matter where I live. I always have them, and I've collected special breeds of pigeons. They're called roller pigeons. Sir Anthony Hopkins played Hannibal Lecter. In that great movie, he talked about them. Do you know that a roller pigeon is? You know what a roller pigeon is, Barney? They climb high and fast, and they roll over and fall just as fast towards the earth. There are shallow rollers and there are deep rollers. You can breed two deep rollers, or the young roller will roll all the way down and hit and die. It is no surprise that I have an affinity for rollers. It is really something to watch them fly higher, and then all the other birds. They fly higher than all the other birds, way up on the top of the sky, and way in the clouds, and they just roll and roll and roll down. And if they're lucky, they pull out in time before they crash and head first into the ground. Rollers who are the offspring of two pairs of deep rollers can do that. They roll so fast that they create a suction, and they can't open their wings. And if they explode on impact, it looks horrific to us. But if we put ourselves into the heart of that bird, there's nothing like that feeling, plummeting down and rolling. It is a smorgasbord of endurance and endorphins, and a dopamine and adrenaline, and a little like snorting coke and drinking Hennessy while being hooked up in the morphine drip. Both of my parents were deep rollers. I was bred to climb high and high into the sky and tumble down. I am truly grateful that I found my wings before I hit the ground.